All right, everyone. A lot of people wanted me to talk about this actually last night, but I'd already made my videos. I was tired. You know, there's only a certain amount that I can do. I'm one person. I don't have like a studio and a staff or anything like that, so I gotta keep it a little bit more simple. Gotta talk about John McCain because I think our worst fears about him have been realized. Did you see his questioning of James Comey the other day? And how even Republicans, people who don't even dislike McCain, I'm not even talking about like, Trumpites, I'm talking about people from within the centrist core of the Republican movement. They're like, what the fuck is he talking about? He could be talking about anything right now. It'd make more sense than what he's saying. Now, John McCain, preface to this, what happened is while questioning Comey, he attempted to make a point. I think I know what point he was trying to make. He was trying to tie in the Hillary Clinton investigation and Trump to the Russian investigation as a whole, which wasn't even really the subject of most of the questioning. Here's the thing, though. He didn't make his point properly. What I think he was trying to say is, why would the FBI wrap up any investigation into Hillary Clinton, any talking about that, when technically, if you think that the Russians intruded into the election, shouldn't you be investigating both sides? Like, it shouldn't be one-sided, just, well, we presume that Trump would be the one working with them. What about the possibility they were acting on behalf of or with Hillary Clinton? Which is actually, honestly, it's a pretty valid point nobody else bothered to make on that. McCain, almost, number one, running interference for Trump. Number two, pointing out something that nobody else apparently really thought of. The problem is John McCain appears to have been demented at the time. I don't know whether he was high, he was hungover. He claims he was tired from watching too many Diamondbacks games or something like that. Who knows? Whatever the case may be, he was so slurred and incoherent in the course of his questioning. He referred to President Comey at one point, which is the funniest. I'm sure James Comey wishes he was in that position so he could tell John McCain straight up, "You're an idiot. I don't know what you're asking me, so please rephrase the question." And it gets people worried, I think, because John McCain's old. He's on the old side. He's been in office for, half of fucking forever. At some point, his mental faculties inevitably would break down if he lived long enough to see such age. I think we're beginning to see that now. I don't think that it was just John McCain's tired. And I say this in respect to the fact that his questioning, if it had been properly phrased, actually would have been rather good. And isn't even like, the never Trump sort of bullshit we usually get. And John McCain came out and said, yes, we do need a special prosecutor, and it's very concerning, Russia and so forth. But then he's actually asking a fairly fair question. But he doesn't ask it right, so nobody takes anything away from it other than John McCain is incoherent. John McCain may be showing signs of dementia. At the very least, John McCain is really hungover right now. Doesn't know what he's saying. Somebody get this man, a coffee and some sleep. Not necessarily in that order. It was sad because it was one of the most intelligent questions to be asked during the entire proceedings. It's actually a good thing for McCain, but I mean, if he's demented or, exhausted or something, it doesn't really help. Meanwhile, you've got Trump apparently breathing a sigh of relief, although I don't know if I believe that. I think, personally, he knew full well. Well, I never worked with the Russians. What I said to Flynn, he had to have talked to his attorney and told him verbatim what he said on regards to Flynn to James Comey. And so he couldn't have been that worried because quite clearly what was said, James Comey told him, you're not under investigation. That's not a mark against Trump. Trump asked him, Flynn's a good guy, keep that in mind, basically. That's not illegal. And then said, I hope Comey will have loyalty. Again, it's not an impeachable offense, so I'm not sure what Trump would have had to have been worried about. If anybody right now is worried, it's probably Loretta Lynch. Because she was openly mentioned. Here's the difference. Donald Trump apparently asked, as the President of the United States, working with Flynn, apparently likes the guy in a more personable way, asks the director of the FBI, could you please, keep in mind he's a good guy, maybe back off a bit because he hasn't done anything wrong, and didn't, provably. Loretta Lynch, as the direct superior in the legal sense in some ways to James Comey, told him to use different terminology and back off the Clinton investigation. Let me ask this. What reason would she have had for doing that wasn't related directly to politics? She's not supposed to be a biased party. Trump, when he asked this of Comey, was not running for office. He had already been elected. The election's over. He's doing it to preserve one of his staff members. It's a totally different situation to Loretta Lynch apparently trying to go up to bat on behalf of Hillary Clinton during a campaign, showing clear bias and intent in so doing. The tarmac meeting with Bubba was mentioned as well. This should probably be investigated. I think Trump, he can't really revive the Clinton investigation directly because it would lead to massive problems. It would be seen as crass by other political insiders, including many Republicans. It would be seen with great skepticism and questioning by, I think, independent voters. It would be politically a very bad idea for him to do so. But to go after Loretta Lynch, based on Comey's testimony, that could work. He could go after Loretta Lynch. He could get an investigation going into that matter. And if he finds reason, if reason is found to continue, she may be dragged in and forced to sort of spill the beans about what Bubba said to her. And by getting that close to Hillary Clinton, a lot of people would get very hot under the collar. I think that's a good idea. Going after Hillary directly would be political suicide almost. But Loretta Lynch, oh, supposedly she was an unbiased party as the head of the DOJ, not strictly somebody campaigning for Hillary Clinton or something like that. It would be a legal conflict of interest for her to have ever done so anyway. So if she showed bias on that investigation, that would be a big problem. It'd be a much bigger story than, Trump asked Comey something. Trump mentioned Michael Flynn, was apparently worried he was being directly investigated. That's not really a story. It's not of real tangible importance for the function of our republic. But to have the head of the DOJ attempting to crack down on a case, an ongoing case involving possible treason, or at the very least multiple breaches of ethics and protocols for the State Department, that would be a case worth going after, I think. And Trump has Congress behind him. He's a Republican. They're, primarily Republicans. A lot of state legislatures would have no problem with it. Most of the governors in the country are Republican. Who exactly would be left to complain from a nonpartisan background about him going after Loretta Lynch? Nobody. Everybody associated with Clinton would cry bloody murder. Nobody else would care. It'd probably be a good thing. He should consider it. He should consider the possibility of getting Loretta Lynch in for an investigation. Congress should seriously, I think, consider that. Wake John McCain up. Get him sober or less tired or whatever you have to do, because clearly he has issues, difficulties at the moment. Get him in there and let him ask his questions of her. When he's, feeling more up to it, I think, would be the best thing to go forward with. That's about all. Peace out.